So just taking a look at our Strike and Murmac projects, we tested this concept. We knew there were graphitic rocks. There was some historical drilling to show that. So using primarily EM and looking where the valleys were, we did some first pass drilling across our Strike and Murmac projects in 2022. And we certainly validated that exploration model. In all our holes, we hit good graphite. The graphite was structured, and we did see alteration, pathfinder elements that were characteristic of these high-grade basement-hosted deposits. Importantly, we also intersected some uranium on all our corridors at Murmac and 2 of the corridors at Strike. And that just shows that these are fertile systems for deposits. So, certainly more exploration is warranted to advance this concept and work toward a potential discovery. Shown here is just our, in blue, just the highlights of our intercepts greater than 0.1% over 0.1 meter. So nothing tremendously high grade or thick at this time, but we certainly see the potential along Strike to make a discovery. So the option agreement that was signed with Aero in December last year, the reason for that from our corporate perspective is, we could have continued to raise money for exploration in the uranium side, but given, how depressed, share prices have been across the sector, we decided instead of taking that dilution at the company level, let's do it at the project level. And that's primarily because we do have some really good gold assets, and we don't want to dilute our shareholders against that. So we signed a really good deal with Aero Energy Limited. We've been certainly really happy with that, and it allows Aero to earn up to 70% interest in the Strike and Murmac projects for a total cash consideration of 1.35 million, shares of 2.15 million, and then a $6 million exploration spend. Also, Fortune Bay is the operator for these projects, so we're entitled to a management fee of 10% on that $6 million. Aero's done a great job of getting moving with these projects. They raised money earlier this year, and we're now in the stages of about to drill, whereby they're looking to meet or exceed that $1 million commitment in the first year of exploration. Of course, we have received the $200,000 in shares as well as the cash. So what was done in April was a VTEM survey over Murmac and Sundog. Now, Sundog is a project owned by Standard Uranium and is also subject to an option agreement by Aero. So they're really treating it as an entire package with regards to some of the surveys and exploration targeting work that's going on. And this survey of our Murmac project included 955 line kilometers of VTEM surveying. So that's a helicopter-supported EM system, as shown in this figure on the bottom left. Also includes magnetics. And what we did at Murmac, we had some previous coverage on a 200-meter line spacing across our original land package. And we infilled that to bring that line spacing up to 100 meters, so a higher resolution, as well as completing 100-meter spacing over the expanded portions of the project to provide a complete high-resolution data set for that. And the high-resolution data will allow us to map in more detail of conductors, look for features of importance along the conductors, such as breaks or jogs, and improve our targeting abilities. So this is on the left here is the results from that VTEM survey, and we've been working with Convolutions Geoscience. They're a geophysical consultancy based out of Vancouver, and they have numerous geophysicists on board that have a vast amount of experience targeting these types of deposits in the Athabasca Basin. So it's been great to work with them and in the target generation phase. On the left is the VTEM survey data that was just wrapped up in late April, just showing what's called a moment map, a late channel, which is the deeper signal, and just highlighting our Armbrust and Howland corridors where we see numerous EM bright spots. We know there's conductors all along them, but those are really the bright spots along the conductors, and then the pitch vein corridor further to the west. The western part of Murmac, the signature is quite different because there's a lot of more sulfide in those rocks, so it's a much higher conductivity units in that package, and that's why that lights up like that. So we're really targeting the graphitic units and the main structures there. On the right here is our inverted 3D gravity model. In 2022, we did ground gravity, and gravity is useful in trying to find these basement hosted deposits, because the gravity lows can show these alteration halos that are made of clays that sit around the mineralization, provide an enlarged exploration target. So that gravity data that we collected, it went through an inversion process. Two types of programs are used, one from UBC, and the one shown here is the BPMG modeling and inversion program. And what's being achieved here is we stripping out some of the sort of surface noise from overburden, and some of the lake areas, and actually looking where there's these deeper seeded gravity anomalies that would potentially represent these alteration halos around mineralization at deeper levels.